I'm Bas Alderding. This is Koen Velde. We're both founders and AI specialists at AI development agency SevenLab. I think over the last year we've done about 40 to 50 projects, and I think it would be nice to see if we can determine categories within those projects and which categories they are.
Well, I think a lot of people talk about AI, but they don't necessarily know what AI is and especially what you can do with AI. So these 4 categories of AI projects really help us in telling the story about AI and especially what you can do with it. So I think the biggest goal of these categories is to provide a bit of structure to our clients to understand the possibilities of AI. We have prediction/forecasting, where we predict values based on historical data.
Or categorize values.
Or categorize values, which is more traditional AI, machine learning. It's been there since the 1980s. And we have 3 categories in the Gen AI, generative AI space. That's where ChatGPT lives, for example. And there we have analysis, we have interaction, and we have creation. With analysis, we mean analyzing content, and content can be audio, video, documents, data, you name it. And we analyze it to extract data from it or make conclusions about it. With interaction, we mean that you can interact with a database or process in the company. So you can interact in a normal language way, so by speaking or typing.
Yeah, with either nice structured databases or unstructured sources, right? Like ask a question about your manuals or something.
Yeah, good example. And the last category is creation, which is the most obvious one for generative AI. Write reports, generate quotations, make checklists, and also even write football reports, for example. In a sense, these 4 categories really help us to structure our cases and to tell the story to our clients. Say, I think these categories are relevant for you.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, for example, how is the division of projects for us between these 4 categories? What do you think in terms of how many projects we do in each category and why?
The one that has the lowest share of projects is the machine learning kind of projects. So the first category about prediction and categorization of things. You need a lot of data for it to work, to train a specific algorithm for your use case. Most data is not generated inside systems. It's actually generated in the real world, and real world data actually is unstructured data. So if a company does business with someone, either selling a product or a service, it's probably starting with an unstructured process. You've been talking to someone sends you an email, someone wants to do something with you. And that's the moment a project starts. And it can be for any kind of business, right? If you're doing consultancy, probably someone approaches you with a problem. That problem isn't necessarily put into a system. Or if someone wants to buy something from you, which is not on a web shop or something, the order is coming in through email, through someone calling you, inquiring about specific information from the product, etc. So therefore, I think the other kind of projects, the generative AI projects, have a much bigger share in the total amount of projects which we do, because there's still a lot of opportunity there to automate stuff.
So the potential is a lot bigger there.
Yeah, the potential is a lot bigger, and also I think it's also part of the reason we don't do that many ML projects or classical machine AI projects. Is because we really focus now on the generative AI kind of projects, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we also do a lot of our business development for our company. That's also the area where you can achieve the highest impact. Because, traditionally we have humans handling this unstructured data and then doing something with this data and then make a report from it, or look in giving you support based on all kinds of information like manuals that are already existing in the company, or doing an analysis based on the informational context.
Yeah, and I think also the development from these big AI companies is mainly focused on the generative AI models. So the development goes really fast there, and I think the machine learning side is less relevant and less active right now.
Yeah, I mean the algorithms have been invented with ML, so we don't get that many new kind of algorithms. We're using the knowledge that came from the whole classical AI field, of course, to train neural networks, etc., to train these large language models again. So in that sense, it's also a bit of an evolution. Going from something really specific for a really specific use case to something that works for multiple different use cases, which is then Gen AI. With the classical projects, you have to train from scratch for a specific task or use case, and the algorithm cannot do something else than it's been trained for. And then the whole generative AI or the large language model kind of AI is trained broadly on all the information in the internet. You can give that kind of AI a certain role, and it already possesses a lot of domain knowledge. And therefore, you also require no training data to get value from it. Because we've been building software for 17 years, and most of it hasn't been focused on AI. Only the last 3.5, 4 years we've been focusing on the whole AI domain with our tools and like agents, AI automations, AI applications.
Back in the days when we built software, we did projects which last 3 to 4 months to build an MVP, for example. Now we can do the same project and build this software by using AI when developing it, which speeds up the process by 3 or 4 times. So on that side, we can build a lot faster than a couple of years ago. And on the other side, we can use AI in the software to automate the process, which results in less coding. So back in the days, we need to write a lot of rules to support a specific process, if this then that rules. And we had to think of all the edge cases that could happen in this process to build it in the software. But right now we can implement an AI model and just tell the AI model, hey, you are a service agent, for example, and your task is to judge whether a ticket sent in by clients is either a feature request or a bug. Well, back in the days, we had to build a lot of rules to make this happen. And now we can just use a pre-trained model from one of the big providers, give these instructions, test it, and then when it's making mistakes, we can use normal language to steer it in the right direction.
Right.
So normally a project lasted 4 months. We can build it now in 1 month, but we don't need this month because we can use AI in a project and we can build something in 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah. So we pick a certain task in a company that has to do with one of these 4 categories. So do you want to categorize something or predict something? Then we do a specific model for that use case. But when we do Gen AI and we don't actually have to train a model, we look for the analysis, the interaction, or the generation of reports kind of processes. A couple use cases we have been doing in the past. I think one of the most interesting ones that combines most of the generative AI properties and then is also an interesting example when you compare it to the classical kind of AI tools is a project we've done for a large logistics company where they have a lot of inspectors that need to inspect crates that are coming in after they've traveled around the world with certain products on them. And for every crate, they have to inspect about 100 attributes to check the products for their clients so they know they bought the right product when it's delivered at this logistics company. And traditionally, it's been super hard to create something that could extract all these attributes from a picture or whatever. But right now, it was just a question of we built a very basic interface. In this case, it's an app where an inspector can go to a crate, take a few pictures, and we let an AI model fill in about 100 plus attributes from this crate and the products in there in a matter of seconds without pre-training a model. The model was just given the attributes to look for, and then it's able to extract that instantly from a couple pictures. This project only took maybe a month from start to finish, including the whole app development, which was also done partially with AI.
Yeah.
If you needed to train a classical model for that or build rules to extract these attributes, it would have taken years, maybe. So that's also the big innovation.
Yeah,
these times.
the speed of development.
Yeah, the speed of development and also the ease of building in intelligence.
Yeah.
In a general sense.
Yeah.
Because first we needed to use our intelligence to make the intelligence into rules and then have structured data to make our formulas, etc. But now we can just offload that to an AI model.
Good example.
Yeah.
I think for now, this is a short overview of the categories of the projects we do.
If people would like to know more about these categories, feel free to reach out to hello@sevenlab.ai. If you're curious about projects, you can also check our website. Lots of concrete use cases on there in these different categories to get some inspiration of where to look for in your own business.
Thanks.
Until next time.
Yeah.